let's bring in Congressman Michael McCaul, the Republican from Texas, to tell us where this story is headed now. Sir, good morning to you.
Morning,
What's
Bill.
going on here?
Iran is responding to our snapback of the sanctions. We lifted the waivers to the 5 countries. They're getting desperate. When the waivers were lifted in early May, within a week, they started these attacks both on our embassy in Iraq, to the Saudis, these 4 tankers and now 2 tankers. And this is the most provocative, the one we're seeing right now in that video. This was clearly an IRGC vessel, and now they're trying to cover up the evidence, going back to try to take these mines off the hull of the ship so that we couldn't catch them in the act. But the good thing is, Bill, we have great surveillance over there, and we see everything they do.
Yeah, here's the foreign minister out of Tehran, said the following in a tweet, sir. I'll read it for our viewers now. The U.S. immediately jumped to make allegations against Iran without a shred of factual or circumstantial evidence. Only makes it abundantly clear that the #B team is moving to Plan B, sabotage diplomacy, including by Shinzo Abe out of Japan, and cover up its economic terrorism against Iran. They're making the case that they've been provoked. How do we respond to that, sir?
Well, the Iranians lie. The evidence is very clear. In fact, when the Japan Prime Minister was meeting with the Rouhani and the Ayatollah, they actually attacked a Japanese-owned vessel. One of the ships, the Panamanian one, I believe, was owned by a Japanese company, which is a real act of provocation. We are there. Our mission there is not to be aggressive into Iran. Our mission there is to defend the region and our allies. Remember, the Straits of Hormuz control a good percentage of the oil that goes out to the world. And I think what the Iranians are trying to do here is to strike back. They know they're being weakened. The sanctions are crippling them. And this is their retaliatory response against that, is to attack vessels in the Persian Gulf and try to take down energy tankers. And so we can't idly sit back and let this happen. They need to know that we're there. And we sent in aircraft carriers. I call them 100,000 tons of diplomacy. And this cannot stand. We invite them to come to the table and negotiate with us to stop this aggression.
Well, the president just last hour said we'll talk with them. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Yeah. What are the indications how significantly this could destabilize not just that part of the world, but perhaps global matters on a scale that no one quite wants to see at this point, sir?
I think nobody wants to see war. I think Iran's about the size of Iraq and Afghanistan combined, to be very complicated. We do have military strategies that we look at, but I think that overall war is not an option we seek. We want an international coalition to bring Iran to the table, to stop its terrorism, stop its ICBM capability, stop its uranium enrichment, which they have now boasted they have quadrupled since this May announcement. So, yeah, it is escalating, Bill. I can't be, I have to be honest with you, but it's important that they know that we're strong, and we're not going to let them get away with this.
One more point here. Here's Lindsey Graham on this issue. Yesterday he was speaking in Washington, and have a listen here, sir.
Bottom line is it shows a desire by Iran to be more provocative, not less. I would applaud the administration for calling them out, and we need to put more pressure, not less. If they actually did this, this would be a major provocation that should be answered with a major response.
That's a similar answer that you just gave there a moment ago, sir, but I'm just wondering, the final moment we have here about trying to drive them to the table, what incentive does Tehran have now to speak with Washington unless they are economically squeezed to the point where there is such massive pressure on the regime that they must talk? In the end, is that the end game?
That is the end game. I think the maximum pressure campaign is the end game, to put so much pressure with the sanctions to drive the Europeans away from consumption of their energy. Energy is 40% of their economy, almost half of it. And if we drive the sanctions home hard and we starve them of cash, as they are right now, and Hezbollah is starved of cash, we put our aircraft carriers and our weapons in the region to deter this aggression, then I think they could potentially come to the table. But we are dealing, Bill, with the Ayatollah. And the Ayatollah is not a rational man, the Islamic Republic of Iran has always been the biggest, largest sponsor of terrorism in the world.
And these events have ramped up quickly, it would appear, to the outside public. Sir, we'll see where they go from here. That surveillance video could certainly change things as the world, governments all over the globe get a chance to see that. Sir, thank you for your time. Michael McCaul,
Thank you, Bill.
From New York today, the Republican out of Texas. Thank you.